I think it's another brief moment in time when we get to see the change of the tides. The shifted, twisted bit technology showcasing the little bits of safety, while the quick trips are surely randomly sparking the photons around me. Let the light flow from the heat, yo. When the photons ignite, highlighting, yo, then you know it's that time when we force a change in tides. A little bit lined with something in us. It's almost like we something else, autonomous, or maybe perhaps it's that missing piece you needin'. Perhaps it's that simple message you searching. Perhaps it's just a different time frame in us for the next adventure in the mainframe. Getting excited, so are the photons. Don't laminate so we can change the coupon. Let me raise the hash rate to make the coupon fake and reduce the rate while we mine our major bags. Crypto technology like cryptographic money will hashing your life into a set of QRs. It doesn't matter cause it's not the 3D changes perspectives. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's me, 3D, and I'm hoping to change your perspective or something today. Oh, seriously, after the BIP 110 minority chain produced exactly 2 blocks and then kind of stalled for a while before doing anything else, the main chain kept marching. Well, the reactions from the well-known Bitcoiners kind of tell the real story here. Today, we're going to walk through the reactions against 4 and those who kind of watch the support evaporate instantly for BIP 110. Hopefully, by the time I'm done today, you'll understand a bit more of why some mechanisms, I should say, and programs actually do mighty jobs. Why Bitcoin is like how it's used, and as I say it all the time, well, like how is it that the people using it, Bitcoin, decides how Bitcoin is used for each of them people, and which in turn protects a lot of them people from few bad actors wanting to seize control of Bitcoin, even if it's just a small mechanism within that system, Bitcoin. Okay, so that's the rundown of what we're going to be getting into today. As you can see, we're getting into what we're going to get into because we talked about it before it happened. Now we're talking about it after it happened. So, all right. Sorry, just getting everything situated. All right, getting everything situated. So, okay. Okay, so, if you're somewhere and you're viewing this and you're there, there's probably a thing where you can chat. If there's a thing where you can chat, well, you can go ahead and chat, and you will appear. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do our intros, partnerships, and sponsorships before we roll into the things. So, today I wanted to thank the organized... Wait, hold on a second. Today, I want to thank the Organized for teaming up with Bitcoin Live Digital Broadcasting DB, because Bitcoin Live DB and the Organized is a powerhouse combo. I see new heights for both organizations. Now, if you haven't checked out the Organized, they make various videos and content for stacks and other topics that seem to be taking off more and more with every day. Find them on X, Twitter, and pretty much anywhere you're watching this right here among your other social media platforms. Okay, so then I also want to thank Beyond the Block for teaming up with Bitcoin Live Digital Broadcasting DB, because together the digital... Sorry, I was just starting to laugh about that because I keep saying DB because it's in the notes. Together, the decentralized broadcasting family grows. The stronger we all become when we have more with us. So now, if you haven't checked them out, or any of the Beyond the Block content for finding out what is actually beyond the block, blockchains, we'll then find them on X, Twitter, and all their social media platforms, including some of their places where you may be watching this right now. And I'm going to give you some showcases, showlights, and highlights, and things like that to kind of point out some of the stuff here soon, so you don't have to worry too much. Just keep in mind, we do have a sponsor. We do have an ad. I have to put it up in front of you because we're going to show it to you. We have a little thing. It's kind of cool. You're going to like it. So basically, I want to thank Shieldfolio for sponsoring today's episode from within a quantum bit, as well as the Bitcoin Live DB network. Now, if you haven't seen a Shieldfolio, it's like this little thing you see up above me right over here, right? Um, Basically, it's a little black book. They're made from stone paper. They're fade resistant, tear resistant, and even water resistant. So they're gonna basically laugh. Sorry, they're gonna basically last whatever you throw at them. Um, and they allow you again little black book. You put all your secrets in there. I personally have a show folder, and I actually use it for stuff like website info, contacts, crypto keys, among other things. So these really are your little black books that are pocket sized, ready to be by your side, regardless of your adventure in real life or online. And I'm not joking; they have tons of neat stuff on there. It's not just the book, but the shoe folio book is the number one thing. It's what allows you to put on your stuff in one spot. Now, the paper itself is the thing that's made from stone paper. Stone. Okay, so it's really neat. I actually do use them. I really do think these are some of the best ways to store anything you don't want on your computer. This is the best way to do it. So go ahead and check that link right above me. Let me move it out of the way for a second. Now, if you notice, we got this little lady background down below me screaming and freaking out at me. She is actually the Shield Filter Protector right now. She's protecting that QR. You can scan that QR at any point in time during today's episode and put in Bitcoin Live 20 during your first purchase to get 20% off today. All right, now I'm going to roll in with the roll-ins before we roll in because I think I kind of messed all that up today, but it's all fine. All right. I also forgot to click this over for Shieldfolio. That's my fault. All right. Thank you again, Shieldfolio, for sponsoring today's episode. Again, QR, Bitcoin Live 20. Check it out after today's episode and see what they have off for you. Okay. All right. I gotta go back down and I gotta click this button. All right. We have a screen. Right. Hold on a minute before I make sure my screen's in the right spot. Okay. Screen is in the right spot. Yes. All right. So we have this screen. This is how we're gonna do everything because we're in the greater fourth dimension quantum machine. We're actually in the photon lab. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so basically throughout today's episode, you're going to be seeing me basically do things like this. And now, there it is. Okay, now we have two of these, right? So you have a QR at the top over there. You have QR over there. So both of these will get you here. So this way, you're going to be able to follow along all throughout today's episode. So if you're watching live, you can have your phone out or something and you can be checking it out. It's fun. If you're not here live, you're checking this out later, well, that's fine. Thank you for coming in. You'll actually be able to scan it, check it out, and still be able to follow along while you watch. It's the beauty of the chain. Okay. So this is the organizer right here. Now, I know I sound weird because I am messing with my stream monitor. It keeps locking up on me. So this is the organized media right here. These people that were silent earlier, they go live about stacking sats and other things like that. Ton of content. Go ahead and check them out. Really enjoyable. Okay, so then this is Beyond the Block. I think I'm gonna have to do that again. Yeah, Beyond the Block. So this is Beyond the Block. This is that one I was saying. What can you find out beyond the block? Well, this is where you find it. Actually, you can find me right here. There's actually a possibility you got to meet through here. And that's pretty cool. That's actually what this is for. It's kind of like a hub to find resources for stuff if you like blockchain technology and talks about it and Okay, well, where did the screen go? I bet you're wondering that right now. Well, we're going to have to catch up on some deets. Let me explain to you, right? Okay, I need to catch you up on the 414.info because basically BIP 110, it's also known as the reduced data temporary software, right? So when is the 1 year consensus proposal is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a limit of arbitrary data embedding in the ordinal style inscription. So you didn't want pictures on the blockchain, bro. So there was these like large OP returns and things that they didn't want to have. They didn't want taproot constructions. They wanted to be able to block a bunch of stuff. And there was like a 55% minor signaling threshold. This was like super low. Normally it's 95 or higher. So this mandatory window they also had. So they had these two things. They had to be 55% miners plus meet this window. They're trying to actually break the normal consensus rules, which like we said earlier, it's normally 95% miners. 95% miners, you'll get 55% of the miners, 55% of the nodes, and that's the ideal. If you have 55% of both majorities, then you have the majority. So in their block window, as you see on the little thing, it was block 961632. Well, that block has already been surpassed. That happened on about August 8th, 2026. Now, the problem is support never rose over 2.5%. Almost entirely from one pool, too, by the way. It was actually like a centralized pool signaling. So, when the window opened and the BIP 110 nodes started rejecting non-signaling blocks, a minority chain formed. They made a fork. They split off, they forked off, they changed. So they produced exactly 2 blocks and then stalled. Now, we're going to see that didn't stay like that. A lot of places are going to report that exactly. And so today we're going to actually show you how far have they gone so far and what does this really mean. So you don't want a chain to pause, right? That's not a good thing. And the mechanical event that chain pausing, it just kind of proves this mechanism within Bitcoin. So today we look at the human reactions. We're going to reveal why these mechanisms actually matter and why Bitcoin stays how it is used by its actual users. All right, okay. Woo, we got through all that. Dang, I have to do that. Okay, we got to talk about it. I can't just have you coming in blind to this stuff. Especially since like some people come in, they don't know what this stuff is. They're like, oh well, I'm just curious. That's fine. That's great. Welcome to the show. Okay. So we're still on catch up deeds. Okay, that's what I need. I need to turn on the screen. We need to go ahead and go into the first perspective. Well, technically, it's the second perspective. It's the first thing we got on the screen. That's what I really mean. It's still a little bit of history, but it's not too much. Okay, so this is like the official home of the proposal. This is the BIP 110 thing, right? Again, they had a whole bunch of like little things, and we can see the signaling. Oh, there's no signaling really going for it. Oh my god, damn. But it's past the event, so that's the thing. So they're like, we're gonna try to update the purpose and blah blah blah. Basically, there was temporary limits on output sizes. There was some kind of data push, witness elements, and taproot annexes. And certain opcodes were not allowed anymore. So we've kind of seen this before in different things. It's like a pre-activation UTXO grandfathered in, and then after that, transactions as money would still be allowed, and that's about it. The intent was made very clear from the beginning, like their entire reasoning, like everything here was pretty blatant that they wanted to like reduce non-financial data to Bitcoin as money. They wanted to make a point. Like, if we do it for a year, we prove this is the best way. Then you will understand. And they kind of got a point there. If you can do it for a year and it does work, it does do all the things you claimed, then yeah, okay, maybe it might be worth it, right? There was the problem here. It didn't do anything they claimed. Kind of just did what other people said was going to happen instead. All right, so we're moving. So basically, they're fighting over these really small rules, really small mechanisms within Bitcoin, right? So what are those? So if we go in here, we can see there's a specification, and it says new output scripts exceeding 34 bytes. So they wanted everything to be really small. They wanted to compact everything. OP push data payloads exceeding certain bits would just be like no. Spinning undefined witness tap version. So they wanted everything to be fine. They wanted everything that you wouldn't be allowed to put anything on in secret on chain. There would be a witness stack of taproot's annexes that are considered invalid. Same reasoning. Taproot control blocks that are larger than 257 bytes because it's too large. They know it's not good. Taproot scripts including OP success or OP if or OP not if. So none of those were allowed because that allows for possible substitutions and things like that. And to be grandfathered in, it had to be on chain before a certain date, which that date's already passed. So they defined the witness things, and they even went to a point where like some of the stuff they're in here wanting to change is no longer the simple little rules. It gets a little wonky. But when a actually I'm reading the wrong one. I think he just scrolled on me. Sorry. Um, these mechanisms are super tiny, super tiny, and why are they fighting so hard for it? Right? Like it was like a lot of work for something so small. Okay. So, okay, there it is. I found the thing I was looking for. So basically, when a few lines of consensus code is going to change what thousands of nodes can actually accept. That's like a small mechanism doing like a mighty job. That's like a small thing doing a lot of work, right? The Atlas scenario. Um, okay, so we're going to the next one. Boom. Oh, oh, are we on the wrong one? Yep. Sorry, I had missed one. I'm still not used to it. My bad. Okay, so we're on this one now. Okay, so basically, um, all that like you come in here, right? It's like an actual thing, right? Okay. All right. So we cut it out the mess, okay? So you know. Um, and so there was a lot of early warning numbers, a lot of early signs showing problems, right? Signaling hovered just over like 1% for months with like 5 equal hash, and then and it's fighting against thousands of equal hash, and then like in here we'll find like there's some there's some credit statements and stuff. So the Adam Beck kind of got pointed out for saying it really doesn't work, breaks multiple things, doesn't have tech nor ecosystem consensus. Um, each way is fatal. It has all four. We all hate spam, but this is not the way. Come on, you're gonna hurt yourselves. And then we can see this Jameson Lop. He was basically calling Bip110 reckless and doomed to fail. So there was more than one person all lining. And then Jimmy's song basically was like, "Oh, I'm not for it or against it. The reason being, I don't know enough about the system." Like the guy, this Jimmy's song was out selling books about how Bitcoin works, blah blah blah. You need a SegWit, blah blah blah. And now he don't know how it works, dude. Chill, 100%. And see, like things like this. This is kind of what shows you the reality of humans in situations. We see that Jimmy Song is not a real person to be listening to. He's just an influencer, literally. While like Jameson Lopp and Adam Beck are actually putting their names on the line, and we're gonna go a little bit further with that because Jameson Lopp, for example, he went a little bit further than that. So we're gonna go ahead and jump over to Jameson his thing. Now, hold on a second. I gotta keep up. Hold on a second. See, I had built all these stupid little like streaming tools because I wanted to do these extra little things. I gotta actually use them. Okay, I'm sorry. So we are now on this is Jameson Lopp's website. So basically, Jameson Lopp took like this long form take, and he directly called, got the points and stuff going on there now. So he calls it reckless and irrational and basically doomed. 55% threshold plus mandatory signaling. They did raise the chain split odds, and that's kind of one of his main points in here. And he also argued that the limits would not permanently stop determined data embedding itself and could actually break future tooling. So, it it's kind of like everyone who knows what's going on, we're all saying, "Hey, this is like really bad," you know. See, I think this is actually one of his things. Let's see if we can pull it up real fast. This isn't. Bitcoiners using Bitcoin as an attack on Bitcoin. Bitcoiners fighting Bitcoiners is good for Bitcoin. From a person who was literally a Bitcoiner attacking Bitcoiners, like Bitcoin, yeah. But it's kind of important to show what's being said, I guess. So we can see Luke over here was saying, did you know in 2013 someone paid blah 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 to embed Bitcoin white paper in the blockchain, and that transaction was confirmed in a block by Luke himself, right? Oh wait, no, my bad. This was actually said by Jameson Lobb. That's right. Jameson Lobb was pointing out that the guy who is trying, who like did Bit, the father of it. Oh, I thought I was gonna say Bit 110. He's one of the guys that started Bit 110 or whatever, right? And now he's kind of going against the things that he once used to do within the, he helped confirm that transaction, right? All right, so anyway, so like you guys can read the rest of it here. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'm not gonna actually read it to you. We're breaking it down. But basically, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff going on. So basically, Lot's position is pure against it. He said the mechanism itself, was dangerous because it tried to force a culture preference through consensus rules, and with thin support. So when a long-term security-focused Bitcoiner spends this much time warning people about activation parameters, the mechanism is the real character in this story arc. So basically, this is the, he wouldn't spend this much time, like tweet after tweet after tweet, putting entire pages on his website and hosting them just to give people warning. Like, there's a reason why he's doing it. Okay, so hold on a second now. Yes, and then I need to find the next thingy on this thing. I need to click this button, do that. All right, hold on. I gotta keep putting the things in front of me. I gotta do this. There it is. I found it. Okay. All right. We're here. So basically, Michael Saylor gave an 110-point reasons. 110-point essay, right? On why it's bad. He shared the goal of cheaper validation, sound money focus, and then rejected, this BIP 110 remedy. Consensus should not judge the purpose of valid fee-paying transactions. Neutrality over purity is the simplest way to say it. So, okay, the burden of proof has not been met. So what is spam? It's not a consensus primitive. There's no opcode that can distinguish spam from utility. Those labels are just human judgment. Everyone considers spam differently. Like, I consider pretty much all ads spam. People think I'm crazy for that, but that's what I consider it. Okay, so, like, if we go through here, a historical relay policy limit is not a proof of an optional consensus limit. An 83 by default may be useful policy without becoming a timeless block validity rule, but it's still forced. And that's kind of like the thing here is, like, the scope is too broad. It sacrifices compatibility for future optionality. We got a puppy in the background running around. So we got like temporary consensus. Rules still create real complexities. Economic and security effects are uncertain. I'm not gonna go through it. I'm just not gonna go through them all. So basically, his reactions are just a clear statement of Bitcoin is how it's used. Users and markets already have tools, privacy filters, fee markets, voluntary, non-relay without rewriting the constitution. So it's like he's got all this stuff without having to rewrite it. Like, sorry, puppy getting a lot of hand. All right, so basically, Sailor is showing it's like, hey, we don't want to use it that way because of all these different reasons. It don't make sense to us, and we don't agree with it. That's a good, clean way to say what he's trying to say, right? So, hold on now. I'm moving my mouse. Okay, boom. So basically, this is hindsight. This is after the fact. This is after BIP 10 did its thing. So, Bitcoin worked exactly as designed. BIP 110 was free to fork and the network was free not to follow. The result was, well, obvious. 99.85% of Bitcoin's hash power stayed with Bitcoin. The BIP110 branch mined 2 blocks. And at the time of posting this, like literally within 24 hours, it was 80 blocks behind. At only 0.15% of Bitcoin's hash power, BIP110 must mine 2,000 more blocks before its first difficulty adjustment. At today's rate, that's about 25 years. Same day, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna check up all these claims. So that is what people basically are deciding, right? These people have made this decision. This has been decided. The few wanted the rule change. Very few did. All right, they could not seize that mechanism from everyone else. They tried, but they couldn't. I have a deed. Okay, straight up deed. I'm trying to keep stuff going while we're going. Okay. So this is mempool.guide. Notice it's a little bit weird, don't you? Notice that? Some glowing blocks or something. This is, believe it or not, just loaded this severe before we pulled up the right before I went live. So this is current 4 blocks. When I was writing all this stuff down, when I was writing my script and everything, it was 4 blocks. I was really honestly expecting 1 more block by now. So they're managing 2 blocks a day on days they're able to make a block. And so they're, 4 days apart? So we might see 2 blocks tomorrow. That's crazy slow. Oh, in 29 minutes. This one might actually make it in 29 minutes. Approximately. I ain't gonna sit here to watch it. But here's the point, okay? So these green blocks, these are BIP110 blocks. That's how they're showing BIP110. They're showing it with this green glow. Like, so whenever you're on a Bitcoin Explorer and you see a green glow or whatever, whoa. What happened to... Okay, I'm gonna have to pull down the chat. A, we got a bot in there. B, the chat is at the wrong size. It's way too large. Oh well. I can still see it, so when people come in and talk, I can still see you guys talk. Alright, so... Okay. Now, if we look at the miner, I had to look at my notes, see what it says. If we look at the miner, it's by Roughnecks Ocean. Roughnecks Ocean. So we're going to look at all of them. Roughnecks Ocean, Roughnecks Ocean, Roughnecks Ocean. Yeah. If we go to the one before that, we see it says Ampool below it. So we already know it's for Ampool. So what we're saying is every BIP110 block so far has only been mined by one pool. To some degree, it might even be only 1 or 2 entities at this point, because of how few blocks there are. It could easily just be 2. I don't know exactly the number of entities. I didn't really care to look in to see how many it could be. I just wanted to show you guys what they're looking like. And they really think the average block time is every 2.2 days. But we're not even seeing that. They're expecting the next one in 5 weeks. No, the next difficulty adjustment in 5 weeks. Oh, perfect. So this is BIP110 monitor. I got the thingy. All right. Okay. So the BIP 110 monitor. Yep, alright. So this is basically a good way to explain this. This is BIP 110. This is the thing, right, that everyone was using. See how many blocks. None. They're not signaling. That's the funniest thing. Is like there should be signaling for blocks because they have 4, and you can't even block. They won't even block a block unless it's been signaled. So they're not even getting signaled. Like people aren't even trying. We see there's like certain ones marked, and there's supposed to be something to say which ones are signaling, which you don't see. This is kind of what they were offering, right? I mean, it just looks like it's like walking into a dead town or something. It's kind of weird. All right, this is basically what they were offering to everyone. It's right here. So ain't no one here. The room's open. No messages yet. It says BIP 110 is running. This is like the official BIP 110 thing. Like this is what they expect you guys to use to see everything, and there's no matches, and there's been one tip bet and or top bet, and oh my gosh, it's like watching a horse die. It's terrible. Here's their block explorer. And so you can see down here they got, here it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here it says there should be 10 blocks that are BIP 110. It's looking at the actual Bitcoin blockchain. Kinda, sort of. And none of them match. Imagine that. Oh yeah, I thought they were locked in. Yeah, active. Yeah, not expired yet. Here are the simple rules, like I don't even know if that's live. Oh, something popped up. Okay, their website is freaking me out. We're gonna leave that website, but in case you wanted to risk it, okay. I'm sure it's safe. It's just I don't know what the heck just happened. um, that was not on my. I did not expect that to happen. Okay. Okay, so we switched. Yeah, we switched over. All right. So basically, this is Luke Dash Jr. himself saying BIP 110 is Bitcoin. We have not zoomed in at all today. So, just want to show you what started this. Someone was saying, will the proof of work change be unleashed on Bitcoin or the current stalled BIP 110 chain? He's saying BIP 110 is Bitcoin. Keep in mind, they're pointing out that it's not moving, right? So he's like, allow me to rephrase this thing. I'm like, will the proof of work change be unleashed on the Bitcoin version that's still producing blocks, like nothing happened, BIP 10 wise, or will it change on the unleashed, currently stalled BIP 110 chain that you consider as Bitcoin? Notice there's no reply. So, what exactly was he being said? What? Well, hold on a second. I have it. Here's what he said. Because there's more than just this. Okay? Like, this person right here, legit asking a legit question, in my opinion. He's like, well, which chain do you expect this to happen on? Right? Like, he's trying to ask a simple question. And Luke is refusing to answer. So, here's what he actually said, which is, so here's the plan for selecting Bitcoin's new proof of work algorithm. Well, that's not exactly just changing what's considered a valid block now, is it? That's not just exactly him changing the consensus. So nobody knows the new algorithm right now. And nobody will until we all know at the same time. On August 11th, we will be again watching Bitcoin's testnet for chain for new blocks. So why the testnet? Like, that's the other thing. Like, they're okay. It's supposed to be live. BIP110 was live at this point, right? Or will be live at that point, August 11th. Why wouldn't you just use the Bitcoin chain, your BIP110 chain? Doesn't make any sense. And we want to control is what I see. Basically, let me read my notes. He really said, what he really said is, no one will know what algo he picks. And he says it will be based on the next block, blah, 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 blah. All I really hear him saying is, everyone, he's just going to pick a date when he tells everyone which one it is. He picked the algos all himself that are in question, and so the next block, blah, 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 that's just him picking it in more steps. We can kind of sort of prove this too, because eventually, I'm going to go to it too. He even says that he went too far and set the bar too high or something like that, right? One of those two things. And really, that's just too far in control. But he's a little bit too deep in to understand. Let me show you. So we see he's like all this stuff. And then he's got all these down here, which is like just Shaw Blake's or Inglesong or like, God, you stupid. Seriously? Like, these are your options. This B down here, Blake 3 by 2. So 2 Blake 3s. What's the difference between that and D, which is also 2 Blake 3s? Nothing, right? Well, 2 Blake 3 times 2, probably the best option, really. Out of these. I wouldn't want any of these. And then we see, oh, there's a new tip. And it's almost like he thought this has to have been automated, right? Because it's like, I would not put this down with it saying, warning, miner violated version bit protocol. They don't even meet your own standard. Seems be pedo trolls. Like, and he's randomly calling people pedophiles. He's randomly calling people trolls. Because it's on a testnet, right? People go on there and mining. People want to make, they're like, oh, I got the option to pick one of these. They're going to make sure whichever one they want is the one picked. And he's like, well, see, some of these trolls intentionally, I didn't want to actually click on it. Some of these trolls intentionally mine 3 blocks at once to disrupt things. No, things like that happen naturally in blockchain. Like, you might be able to get multiple blocks at the same time. That's why we have a whole setup for determining which of those get picked. And he's like, do we try again or just stick with the one I want? Shaw 3x. So, like, he's really just going to pick it because he wants to. Continue watching testnet 4. So, well, there was a pick. Why didn't you pick it? Oh, it's not the one I wanted, bro. It was the exact one he wanted. Alternatively, if a valid, including BIP110 block, of course, Bitcoin block is found prior to a new criteria being met, we can use that instead. So he's just making the rules up as he goes. It's been an hour. Clearly, I set the bar too high. I will reveal the previous criteria when we're done. So he's just literally picking and choosing whatever the one he wants. This isn't real. This is all bull. Everything about this is bull. See, like, oh, well, none of them came up with an answer, so we have to forcefully pick an answer. Like, all this shows is this is Luke's personal play chain. That's all this really shows. And it also shows that the mechanism in Bitcoin that's meant to protect Bitcoin did. When the majority declined, the claim of him, like it just went to, well, no, it's Bitcoin because I said it's Bitcoin. We saw this with SVC or Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision one, that one BSV. We've seen even BCH with Roger Ver and stuff did this whole thing where they were like, no, it's Bitcoin. But then they end up not ever being Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is how it's used. And if people are not using your Bitcoin, it's really not Bitcoin. So, okay. So we got more. Was that the React team? Oof. I forgot to move to the React team. Oof, that was my bad. Actually, no, we're right there. We're right there. Okay, alright. I'm on it. I'm just sorry. My bad. But I'm on. Okay, I gotta move one of these things. Yep. Okay. Okay, so basically, this is like one of many posts and stuff on the Bitcoin once install, and this is on the initial install, and you're gonna see a bunch of these, right? So, there's like a certain paragraph in here I was wanting to read. So a pseudonymous mining group called Roughnecks produced both BIP110 blocks. So far, they've produced the only BIP110 blocks so far. Using Ocean's datum protocol, then stopped. By Sunday afternoon, the enforcing branch remained stuck, while Bitcoin's dominant chain had continued. 111 blocks in roughly 17 hours after the fork. Support was never there. And that's the biggest thing. Support was never there. And so when random, group is mining BIP110 completely, for when that could be, we don't know. But basically, when a temporary soft fork proposal ends in plans for a permanent hard fork change of the mining algorithm, the original mechanism has already done its mighty job, revealing where the support actually lived on the main chain. And honestly, we saw those blocks, right? We saw the BIP10s. We saw them, right? It's 4 of them. And they're all done by that roughneck miner pool, all of them. So they didn't just change the consensus for their chain. They changed the algorithm, and they changed, like again, it's just become a personal chain for Luke Dash Jr. And that's really nice in my perspective. Like, his actions kind of show it. And yes, I am going to. I got one more. Oh, I'm missing a card. Yeah, I'm missing a card. My bad. I am missing a card. I missed one. My apologies. So, they removed Luke Dash Jr. as a Bitcoin BIP editor. So he can no longer, like, he was removed from a major Bitcoin position in maintaining Bitcoin because of what he did. So basically, his peers didn't even see this as like a one-time issue. This was starting to become a recurring occurrence. And so they were like, no, it has to be done. So they did. Alright. This is the last one. This was the last one. My bad. So we already knew from the previous episodes that data can still be stamped and retrieved with tapped circuits, and with careful encoding, even under tighter limits like the BIP110 was trying to push, it still didn't matter. You could still do it. But basically, since then, there's been better open source versions of what, we tried to do or showed to do on the last episode. That basically appeared and only reinforces that point. The real story arc this time is that there's not a technical workaround. It's the use that comes from it, right? Now, from our early proof of concepts and stuff, like when we stamped images examples, we looked at one person's work to figure out how to do that. We actually looked at someone else's work and we learned how to do it. We showed all that last episode. So, I wrote that one about that last time. So I'm not going to read this whole paper, but I want to read one part about this paper. It's just Slovak Bitcoin developer Martin name embedded a 66 kilobyte TIFF, which we looked at TIFF, the image, into the Bitcoin blockchain to broadcast a single continuous transaction without using the main limitations of the BIP110 proposal. So it would fit within BIP110. This demo directly challenges the core claim of BIP110 proponents, restricting the aforementioned scripting capabilities effectively prevents arbitrary data from being embedded in the Bitcoin network. No, it doesn't. It doesn't prevent it at all. And we saw what all it really does is just add control. And that's what a lot of people are saying. It just adds control. Like, in short, this one person's demo, this guy, this Slovak Bitcoin developer, Martin Habrosvakin, I'm not sure if I said that right. Basically, this one person's demo wouldn't be blockable on BIP110, even if it was redone after BIP110 started. Like, you can push it on BIP110 right now. Just go run your own roughnecks and boom. Showing that some mechanisms do mighty jobs. Limiting data pushes what have changed. My bad. Limiting data pushes would have changed the cost and the shape of like inscripting and putting images on the blockchain overnight. And for anyone who wanted to stay on that chain, it would have gotten really expensive to do. So this guy figured out the cheapest way in the world to do it. Right? He made it even cheaper. So he disproves it instantly. So the same people that want to inscribe stuff, like, they have to find alternative encodings. And this guy does it in a dramatic, easy way. So we only have to make images. We have new ways to just make images smaller and smaller and smaller, thanks to this fiasco. And it's like the only main thing we can really get out of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I can't believe we're here. Wow, that was a lot of words. A lot of words. We said them. Okay. So basically, BIP110's activation parameters. It's 7 data rules, mandatory window. Those were all mechanisms that did mighty jobs. Right? They forced a visible, measurable test of support, produced a clean minority chain that cannot keep up. The reactions from pro-dominant Bitcoiners and the wider set of voices show the human layer is like all within the madness. Some acted as if the mechanism was never a necessary defensive monetary purpose. Others understood it was a dangerous attempt to turn preference into consensus. The network itself answered, like the hash rate, the economic continuity on the main chain, showing that oftentimes, like with Bitcoin, the talks are only for the people. And that's really it. Like, the perspective shift we all set out to make, right? Some mechanisms and programs do mighty jobs. Small and inconsensus changes can redirect entire ecosystems. Bitcoin is how it's used. Free markets, voluntary filters, and alternative encodings that already exist don't need to rewrite the base. So Bitcoin is not a static thing. It doesn't simply just exist. That people running the software, mining the blocks, and building the tools actually decide for themselves which rules they will enforce. In turn, that means the individual decision protects the wide user network from, few people, bad actors, who would want to seize even the smallest tiny little lever within inside that system. Like, it just happens. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If there's something small that someone thinks they can take control of, they'll try to. As we can see, even small mechanisms can have mighty impacts that you're not really aware of sometimes at the beginning. And we saw some people were completely aware of it. They knew. Okay. Alright. I really appreciate you guys for showing up today, man. We're going to go ahead and roll on with Rollins, and I do have something here at the end to show you guys something kind of new.
Yo, did you think you know? Did you think you hold? Did you think something new? That's the goal, to see from a new degree and get the change your mind needs to find something new. Life suddenly is easy for many, but when a wall appears, sometimes up is all you see. So let 3D guide to the side, yo, where there's a door though. Just be careful on your way out, for the first step is a do-si-do. A little bit Linus with something different, it's almost like he's something else. And regardless, maybe, perhaps it was that missing piece you was needing. Maybe it was that simple message you was searching. Definitely it's just in different time for defraying our mental mind state, separating us from our own mental mind tank. Boom goes the blast of thought. Boom goes the last spark with part. Boom goes the mental mind tank. Don't your perspective hit on the way out. Don't let your directive stop you when you doubt. Don't let the dire detection stop you from being getting excited, so the photons are delighted. Don't hesitate so we can line up the hash rate. Let me surmise the time, submit the rate, and reduce the face while we mine our major bags. Crypto technology like cryptographic money, while hashing your life into a set of QRs. It doesn't matter, cause this was 3D changes perspectives. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a new roll of perspective. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a brand new perspective. Of perspective. Thank you for joining the show. Please return next time for a brand new perspective. Thank you for joining the show.